Good morning and welcome to the annual combined conference of the North Dakota Enlisted Association and the North Dakota Officers Association. It's great that you're here today, and I thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to help us address some of the challenges we face for the North Dakota National Guard and the nation's defense as a whole. I apologize that I can't be with you today. Unfortunately, I'm in Washington, D.C. at our August board meeting. Today, here in Washington, we're dealing with the issues that affect each of you as airmen and as soldiers of the National Guard of this great country. Recently, we had some great news. The National Commission on the Structure of the Air Force released its report, and one of the key findings of that commission was that our nation needs to have a greater reliance on the reserve component, on the National Guard, on that structure of the Air Force as we provide for our nation's defense. That's the good news. Unfortunately, on the Army side, we face many challenges today as we talked about the future and the balance of the active component and the reserve component. This past week, the administration released its budget for fiscal year 15. As a result of the budget release and as the discussion of sequestration takes place, as we look to the future, there are many challenges with reduced strength for the National Guard on the Army. Today, our strength is at about 350,000 soldiers. In the recent budget that was released, that number would be reduced down to about 315,000 soldiers, a very significant reduction in the reserve component of our nation. For us in North Dakota, that could mean a loss of as many as 500 or even 600 soldiers for our North Dakota National Guard. Another aspect of the budget proposal for fiscal year 15 is a shift of Army aviation assets from the National Guard to the active component. The movement of the Apache helicopters from units all across our country into the active component, reducing the number of aircraft for our National Guard. Also, there's a proposed reduction in the number of brigade combat teams in the National Guard. Both movement of aviation assets and reduction of the brigade combat teams is a shift in the philosophy of what the National Guard would provide for our nation's defense, not only at home, but around the world. In order to address the proposals in the FY15 budget, one of the items that's being considered in Congress today is House Resolution 3930. That resolution would freeze the end strength of the Army National Guard at 350,000 soldiers, where we are today. That resolution would also prohibit the movement of aircraft from the National Guard to the active component. And thirdly, the resolution would propose a commission similar to the Commission on the Future of the Air Force for the structure of the Army. If we can go forward with House Resolution 3930, we'll be able to address what the proper balance is for the future for the Army National Guard in our country and the active component. We talk a lot about the good news and the bad news that comes out of Washington that we face as challenges for the future. But the fact is, our soldiers and our airmen continue to do great things all around the country and all around the globe. And it's because of each of you and your families that I'm so proud of what the North Dakota National Guard is and what it's done in the past and what it'll continue to do in the future. Today, we have approximately 300 of our soldiers and airmen deployed somewhere in the world. We have the 1st of the 188th in the National Capital Region mission. We have the 2nd of the 285th in Kosovo. We have the 814th Medical Detachment in Afghanistan. And we have individual soldiers and airmen in Kuwait and on the southwest border. And here in Fargo, we have the 119th Wing's Predator mission continuing on a day-to-day basis. In addition to the Predator mission here in Fargo, our wing is also doing great things at the Minot Air Force Base with the Security Forces Squadron and providing for nuclear security for the base and for the people of our country. Also here at the wing, we are blessed with the opportunity for the new mission in intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. It too will provide great opportunities for the future of the 119th Wing, for the Happy Hooligans, for the North Dakota National Guard. Clearly, the National Guard continues to serve as an integral part of our nation's defense. Here in North Dakota, as we look to the coming months, one of the opportunities we have is the legislature that's going to meet in January of 2015. Today, we are addressing what some of the things are that we need to present to the legislature in order to better ensure the future of the North Dakota National Guard and in order to better take care of our soldiers, our airmen, and their families and all veterans and service members that have served in this country and continue to serve. One of the things that you'll hear more about today is an effort called North Dakota Cares. ND Cares, which is chaired by First Lady Betsy Dalrymple and co-chaired by Lieutenant Governor Drew Wrigley's wife Kathleen and my wife Connie, would address what it is we as a state need to do to make sure that there is help in every corner of the state for every service member, those that have served in the past, those that continue to serve, and for their families. Obviously, this is a very challenging situation, but I'm proud of the fact that North Dakota has taken the lead in providing for a program that will clearly deal with all of the challenges of our service members. Also, today, you see behind me a new logo that was released by the National Guard Bureau just this past week. In it, you can see the three parts of what we are. We are a warfighter. That's been proven in the last 12, 13 years. We provide for our nation's homeland defense. That too is proven every year as National Guard soldiers and airmen are called out in the defense of their state, whether it's to fight floods, fires, tornadoes, whatever the case may be. And lastly, forging new partnerships for the future. This past week, we announced the new partnerships with Togo and Benin, in addition to our partnership with Ghana. We are celebrating 10 years of a wonderful partnership with Ghana. And now as we look to the future, we will be adding 2 more countries to what we do to make a difference in the world today. I thank you all for being here again at this conference, this 14th annual Combined Conference. I thank you for the great job that you do day in and day out. I thank your families and your employers as well. You make me proud. You all do wonderful things for our country and for our state, and you make a difference in the lives of others. Please enjoy the weekend, take time to relax, but remember the challenges that we face, and remember that we, the North Dakota National Guard, are always there, are always ready. We'll do what we need to do for the people of North Dakota. Thank you.